Alright, hi guys, welcome back to PKFX YouTube trading channel. So this will be a quick video on an update for USDCHF entry. So I've taken a sell position with a 1 to 2.5 risk to reward for USDCHF, and just very quickly for the reason in why I entered this particular trade. So this is basically based on the market position over here. If you see the weekly, this is the lower low and this is the lower high. So the weekly is technically a sell, and the weekly has made a very good amount of pullback before the market reverses over here. If this particular candle closed above with the candle closure for the weekly above over here, this sell would have been invalidated and the weekly direction would have been now a buy. However, this particular candle, if I were to bring it back to its position over here, closed as an indecision doji candle followed by a strong sell pattern. And if I were to zoom in, you can see that the market has been trending down and now it had some sort of a pullback before the continuation pattern towards the downtrend, right? So why I say that I'm entering this based on the position of the where the market is currently is because the weekly is a sell. So a sell, usually this is the lower low, it should have a lower high and followed by the next lower low. And that is pretty much what I see over here. A lower low, a lower high, and I'm expecting another lower low. So I'm expecting some sort of a retest before trending downwards in the upcoming weeks. Obviously, this is going to be a few weeks to play out. If I go to the daily candlestick, the daily bias is actually on a buy, which is against my direction. However, I see that the daily EMA has been coming in as a very good resistance for me over here. In fact, if I zoom in, right, you can see that the last few days, the market rallied up. It tried to close above the EMA, but the next day it opened and it closed below the EMA. So it is highlighting to me that this EMA is actually valid. In fact, today, as the daily candle is progressing, I can see a very good amount of wick over here and still moving downwards, right? So the daily, the EMA is acting towards my side, I would say, as a resistance for me. Of course, this area that I entered this particular trade is actually a daily support resistance zone. This box that I've drawn over here, you can see some clear structure points that is holding valid. I can see if I were to go here, see this some good amount of structure points. This weeks, I don't really count the weeks. This candle closure over here, this indicates to me that this is a strong region where some sort of a reaction can happen, right? Some sort of a push can happen, and I can see the pattern is currently forming. Therefore, this is a good region for me to enter the trade based on the position in where the market currently is. And of course, I waited for the 4-hour candlestick to also turn into a sell. The 4-hour, this was the higher high and this was the higher low. So this particular candle, when it closed below this candle, right below this structure, when this candle closed below this structure point, this confirmed to me that this is now a sell. This is the lower low, this is the lower high. So the entire 4 hours is also in my favor. Now, when I go to the lower time frames, when I was about to enter, the 30 minutes was a sell, right? The 30 minutes is technically still a sell. The 1 hour is also a sell. So I can see a clear head, shoulder, head, shoulder, break, and a retest, and this is my entry point, right? So I have an head and shoulder pattern as well forming in the 1 hour time frame. Of course, 1 hour is not going to be as significant as 4 hour or daily. However, I can see this dome structure over here that usually indicates that the market is now reversing to the downside. Now, does it always play out? Not necessarily, but most of the time in my experience in seeing this kind of structure, this indicates that the market is now slowly turning over into a sell, right? So the placement of the stop loss is, I believe, is pretty good. I've placed it above this box over here. I've placed it above, in fact, the daily. If I go to the daily, the EMA is also within the box. So my stop loss, if it were to be hit, it has to break the daily EMA as well and continue to go upwards, right? So that will be a continuation of the daily upwards pattern, but it has to, change my 4 hour as well. From a sell, it has to go above and make it into a buy before it can hit my stop loss. So I think the stop loss placement of 33.5 pips over here is a pretty solid stop loss. I have the round psychological number of 0.78500 in my favor to act as a resistance as well. So if I zoom out back again for the daily candlestick, I'm aiming for this particular structure point as a place for me to take profits, right? I expect the market to continue to rally downwards in the upcoming days and come back and retest at minimum this point, because I see here some clear structures over here, right? If I were to quickly just draw like a box over here, you can see that the market is technically obeying this particular area where it comes here, it bounces, it comes here, it goes back down, comes here, it bounces back up. So this can somehow act as a reasonable, I would say, daily structure point or a daily support, I would say. So that's why I set my take profit right before I reach that area. Now, can it break through and go all the way down here to where I previously identified the support? Yeah, definitely it can rally all the way down. In fact, if it does that, market will give me about 4.5 risk to reward, which is an excellent risk to reward. But for me to expect that to play out, that's probably going to take a few weeks, a few days, probably close to a week. I don't know how soon can the market drop, but I'll need to continue to monitor this particular trade. The trade just only started. In fact, I just only entered the trade a while ago, and this was my entry point. And from what I see so far, the market haven't really moved much ever since I entered. For the past few hours, the market is still there, so any pullback is still a good entry point as well. But the lower time frame EMAs are in my favor. Now I've marked here as 2 hour for this line over here. The reason is because if I go to the 2 hour candlestick pattern, let me just bring back the pattern over here. So the 2 hour technically, for me, the 2 hour is still a buy. This is the higher high, and I see this as the higher low. This is a good structure point. So this structure point previously technically was not really broken yet. I need a solid 2 hour candlestick to break below and close below to say the 2 hour is now a sell as well. So right now, I cannot be waiting for all the time frames to change into a sell. Maybe by then it's too late for me to enter already. The risk to reward will not make sense anymore. I had 30 minutes and 1 hour in my favor, and the moment the 4 hour changed as well into a sell, I entered ahead of time. I didn't wait for the daily to turn or the 2 hour to turn. I have reasonable amount of confluences. In fact, this trade, as per my strategy, is a A+ setup. So I've decided to risk 1% for this particular trade. I'm doubling down for this trade because I believe high chances it's going to hit the TP. However, I don't want to jump into conclusion because the daily is a buy. All we know is, the trade can literally just change the direction and go hit the stop loss as well. That's why I believe it's very, very critical to have stop loss. I've personally been burnt out multiple times for not having stop loss, so I'm not going to make that kind of mistakes anymore. So yeah, that's pretty much the trade update, USDCHF. I want to quickly just show one more trade that I analyzed on the weekly game plan, which hit perfectly to the TP, which is this particular trade, USD CAD, which I did not enter. So I was expecting the market, at this point of time, the market was actually a buy. I was expecting the market to make some sort of a pullback before I can continue to sell. However, the market, let me just draw up the lines over here. Okay, so I've just added the arrows and the take profit stop loss areas that I've marked for this particular USD CAD trade, which I did not enter because the market literally gave me the pullback that I needed, and this would have been a perfect entry, and it went straight to TP. In fact, everything happened within a few hours, and this would have been a fantastic trade. The thing is, I did not enter this particular trade because when the 30 minutes candle was giving the pullback, to be honest, I was still sleeping. I did not look at the chart yet, and I couldn't set a sell limit previously because the market was pretty much closed back on the weekends. So it is what it is, right? Not all the trades, like we tend to miss a trade here and there. As long as we can catch another A+ setup, it is all fine. I'm happy that this particular call of mine went perfectly to TP. For me, even though I did not take the trade on this particular trade, I'm happy that the call made was a success. It was exactly as per planned. Not all the time this happens. For example, NZD CAD, I was expecting the market to pull. Currently, it's still working towards the pullback. I will continue to monitor. AUD JPY, this trade literally just flew past to stop loss. So this is what I was saying, right? If you were to enter a trade, we definitely need to have a stop loss, because if it's not, it's going to keep going towards the other direction, right? So the reason why I did not enter this trade was because I was expecting some sort of pull first. Let me just go to the smaller time frame. So I was expecting some sort of a break downwards and then a push upwards before a continuation pattern downwards to enter. We had the break downwards, we had the push upwards, but the push upwards went ahead and closed above this box. And now this candle pretty much printed out and confirmed to me that, hey, it's not going to come back down anymore. And then the market just rallied. So this is, I would say, a fantastic trade that would have been a stop loss hit that I avoided completely because I had a plan. And that is very, very important. This is what I've been learning so far. If you already have a weekend game plan on what you're expecting the market to do, and if it doesn't do that, you don't take the trade and you save your capital from taking a stop loss, right? So that is AUD JPY. And finally, Euro JPY. So this particular trade, I closed this trade over here with a very small profits, because I said that when the market opens, I don't know if the market is going to continue to rally downwards, or it's going to have a strong push towards the upside, or it can even spike because of the overnight, the weekend gap, right? It can have the weekend gap. In this case, no, it did not have that weekend gap, but still closing here with a small profit is still a good decision, because the market eventually came back to break even. And if I were to consider all the swap charges, this would have been on losses. So this was, I would say, a good decision. Now, do I want to re-enter this trade? Not for now, because I see that the 4-hour EMA is still acting as a support. Unless the market comes back up over here to this region and then make some sort of a rejection again, then I may look into a potential sell or something at that point of time. But for now, I'm just going to continue to observe. So yeah, pretty much that's about it. USDCHF, a trade that I just entered with a 1 to 2.5 risk to reward. And USD CAD was a fantastic TP, but unfortunately I did not enter this trade. But it is what it is. I still consider this as a win because the analysis was right. So that's about it, guys. That's a very quick trade update. Thank you so much. Have a good day.